What's up everyone and welcome back to another replay cast. Today's game we have a Zerg versus Protoss. It is Soulkey versus Bisu. Bisu doesn't ladder on this ID, and so I'm very confident based on the fact that they've used map settings and we're on Minstrel that this is a Pro League or practice game. Most likely practice because we don't have the other observers, but definitely play it on stream. What I love about the on-stream games, this game was played in October of 2024. What I love about the on-stream games is that they are incredibly competitive because both players are trying to impress their viewers on stream. And so I've been having a look for and finding these replays. They're a little bit older because I want to respect people that cover, Pro League and stuff like that on stream, as you know, and these are content creators and they kind of make money from it and all that sort of stuff. So my preference is to do games that are a little bit older because these have been done quite some time ago and they're not going to have any sort of negative impact on anybody else that's maybe taking Broodwar casting a little bit more seriously than I am. And yeah, it's also great for me because I was actually out of the game for the year 2023 and 2024 and most of 2025. So it's actually a great opportunity for me to kind of catch up on what I missed, one, and two, to bring you guys some outstandingly good replay casts. So a lot of these have just been reacted to on the live streams and they haven't been cast from replays. And I feel like if you can cast something from replays, there's just so much more you can see and do and enjoy. And of course it's English, you don't have to worry about the voiceover in the background. So there's quite a few benefits to doing it this way. And this match, guys, this match is unreal. By the way, we're doing a 9 pool here, which is why we've made the double cannon. Because to me, it's the best Zerg versus Protoss player in the world versus the best Protoss versus Zerg player in the world. So this match, in terms of these two, is just unreal. Like, what a brilliant rivalry Bisu versus Soulkey is. So hit that like button, subscribe. I'm going to be doing lots more of these intentionally searched for matches between players that I think are incredibly good rivals. So you're thinking about like Flash versus Bisu, Flash versus Mini, Soulkey versus Bisu, Soulkey versus Flash. There's all of them. There's many more matches that I've intentionally set up a search in various replay portals that I look for replays. And I'm spending a lot of time in the inverted commas lab to bring you games from various eras containing the best players and specifically trying to seek out some of the best Broodwar matches that are being played. Maybe not on the ladder. So I think the ladder now is becoming a little bit saturated. So I'm not saying that the games that I cast won't come from ladder. There will still be plenty that do. But I'm definitely now branching out to be able to bring you more competition content and content that comes from other places. And I think those games, generally speaking, are going to be of a higher quality. Alright, so all that introductory waffle out of the side. Bisu's Forge double cannon open has now happened. All Soulkey's done is he's made the 6 lings and absolutely no more. He's now getting ling speed and a lair. So he's pivoting out of the initial rush into now a normal build. He's getting his lair here in the natural. The probe of Bisu is still alive. He keeps his damn probe alive forever because his APM is ridiculous, playing at like 400 APM. And so he's going Stargate. His Corsair will know exactly what he's up against in no time. We've got the 3 hatches. Based on the positioning of the 3rd hatch, I'm going to assume that Soulkey's going to open Mutas. We do have the lair, obviously, which is a bit of a hint. And there is the Spire as well. So I think he's definitely going to open Scourge to block the initial Corsair harassment. But I also think, depending on the second gas timing, we could well see some Mutalist play as well from Soulkey. He's incredibly strong, obviously, with his Muta Micro. And just a notoriously powerful macro Zerg as well. Bisu is by far the best player in this match. He's just so scary, so aggressive, so good at progressing with his build, so good at applying and transferring pressure and reading the game. Definitely some of his many strengths in this particular matchup. And I think if you had to ask the pros, you know, if you had to ask all the pro Zergs, which Protoss do you fear the most? Bisu will be right up there in terms of who they say. I don't think they'll say someone like Snow. Mini's pretty decent. Rain's pretty decent. But Bisu in this match in particular is just on another level. So our first Corsair is out and about. By the way, guys, I think I forgot to do it earlier, but we are flying along to our 1,000 subs, which is our goal for the year. I think we'll probably get there by June, July at this rate, which is unreal. I never ever thought that we would get the traction that we're getting as quickly as we are. But if you do enjoy this game, please do hit that like button. Send me any comments or feedbacks or any of your favorite parts of today's match. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you are a regular viewer or you just like what you see today, please do subscribe. I really do appreciate the support. Alright, back on with the game. We got 2 Corsairs and they're going to get their first Overlord kill. We see 3 sets of Lings in the production tab. We don't have any Scourge though. Oh, here they've already been made, that's why. So comes in here and confirms the location of the 3rd hatch, which I think is a signal that he's going to be up against Mutas. We're also seeing there's a Corsair over there. Sorry, sometimes you'll do that. You'll be like in the middle of speaking, you'll see something and you'll just like stop. Don't worry guys, I'm still here. Nothing happened to me. It's just weird. Oh, here we go. Here come the Mutas. Okay, cool. So we kind of called it, and Bisu's got +1 air, he's getting legs. So Corsair Zealot, a build that he's notoriously good at, and one that he plays a lot, but also he's got his 630 Templar archives in place, so no dramas there. He's going to take a lot of hits on these Zealots. So splitting them off to try and at least save the life of these 3, knowing that these 2 are not long for this world. He doesn't even get a drone, bro. He gets nothing. Nothing. Jack-a-doodle. The Zealots do have speed, which just means they can run home faster than before. This Minstrel really does just feel like a modified fighting spirit, doesn't it? Just so many similarities, it's crazy. Okay, so after having to run home with our Zealots, we've got some Corsair reinforcements. So if you want to fight me with Mutas, I've got Corsairs, boy. What's your plan now? Says Bisu to Soulkey. Well, the plan is to kill some Overlords. Does get a couple and runs away. We can see the Hydra's now hitting the field for the first time. Soulkey is a notoriously good 6-hatch Hydra player. So you open Spire, you pivot into Hydras. That does seem to be where he's going, but this is why Bisu is so good at this match. His Zealot pressure and his ability to make a judgment to go, yep, take the engagement, kill the drones, be a nuisance. Oh, there's a DT here too. Holy crap. How much damage is this DT gonna get, guys? There are no Overlords anywhere in sight. There's no Overlords in the production. Oh, there's wrong. There's 2 Overlords in the production tab. And he's going to need another one soon. Because if an Overlord doesn't pop here, he's going to have a problem. Kills a drone. Kills a Hydra. Now they're visible suddenly. Doesn't pounce for the Corsairs, which surprises me. He's going to try and potentially fight with... Did that DT got away? Holy crap. So decides, well, I'll take you on with my +1 Corsairs. You and your little Mutas are no threat to me. And damn, does Bisu play this Corsair Zealot strategy well. It's like, honestly, he makes it look so easy. I try to play this game a little bit in my lifetime, and I find this particular style of play incredibly difficult to do well. And he just makes it look like, why would you want to do anything else? The DT still running away? Is that enough? Do we have any Templars? The answer is yes, we have 2. We are making a Robo, we're getting Dragoon range. So my thinking now is we're going to get some fights pretty soon. Bisu's planning to take a 3rd. Soulkey is happily mining on 4 bases and has got 45 drones, which is a nice sweet number. 8 Dragoons are in production, so Bisu is very much 8 gateway Protoss man. And that is a very, very scary prospect. If you're anybody. Flying around constantly with his Corsairs, so he's got a very good sense of what's happening at all times. It's going to be difficult for Soulkey to challenge this 3rd base without leaving a whole bunch of openings, right? So if he sets his Hydras off, he's got to worry about losing a heap of Overlords. So this is where having the APM to constantly be present with your Corsairs and get on with your build is just so incredibly powerful, right? So it's kind of limiting the degree to which Soulkey can freely move around the map, which means that you as a Protoss player can take your 3rd base for free, which is like almost unheard of in this match. But if you Bisu, it affords you a few privileges, I think. See that, just picks off the Overlord, runs away, and now it's just being painful, right? It doesn't make that much of a difference compared to like earlier on in the game perhaps, but it's just like flexing, isn't it? Just showing how big your muscles are. Does now feel confident enough to move some Hydras out onto the field. Look, supplies are pretty close, right? So fights are going to have to be well managed by Bisu. He's going to have to get some good storms. We could get some base trading going, although it looks like Soulkey's now repositioning his Hydras. I don't know how good of a fight he can take you over this bridge. Oh, this feels so much like Fighting Spirit, dude. Here we go. Where's the storms? There they are. Another storm coming up. Yep, bit of a whiff on that one. Trying to get a decent storm up here, and he does. But decent dodging from Soulkey, although he can't dodge twice, right? Once bitten, twice shy, I guess they say. Does have the observers here. I did hear a couple of lurkers burrowing. He doesn't have too many lurkers in this composition. But the Dragoons are really, really getting some good headway here. And Bisu moves in where others would retreat or wait for an engagement. Just diving in here. Does have his Zealots in front. I think you'd ideally want a couple of them to be behind. Dragoons do now once again start firing in unison. I think Soulkey's going to hold here, and Bisu needs more storms. Does throw down one, and that is going to be that. I think now he decides that's enough trying to trade. Now throws in a few Zealots in the front end again, and I think he's now going to push away. That was a beautiful fight. One Zealot, though, didn't know what was good for him. He got chowed. Meanwhile, behind that attack, Bisu expands to a 4th. 4-basing Protoss, sub 14 minutes. Very, very scary. Now, what did he want to try and achieve with a shuttle? Well, whatever it was very well scouted. He had ADT, and now he's got a dead DT. Nice block from Soulkey there. Very, very, very sharp and in tune with what's happening in this game. Both players are playing absolutely insanely well. Another base being taken down here. Not too many bases on this map. I think this would be a Bisu base if it comes to that, although maybe Soulkey's got some other ideas. Gonna cook himself a mirror. Very nice. So Bisu wants to challenge this base. There really isn't much here, so Soulkey decides, don't even bother, just run. He's donating some overlords to the cause, and he does actually supply block himself there. DT's also fending off little pod of Hydras there, although he does have an overlord with it, so perhaps doesn't need to. And I feel like everything's building up to a nice big fight. It'd be nice to have that fight in the middle of the map. Now donated all of his Corsairs there to science. Now we got Reavers as well, so those are going to help us defend our bases and potentially also be involved in some drop and shuttle play. We're getting plasma shields, so we should in theory have all the upgrades already. No, we only have 2-1. Wow, okay, interesting. Kind of in a position here. This is not an easy place to break a lurker line. It's quite narrow. Requires insanely good micro, which of course you would expect Bisu to have. I don't think the players are multi-fighting here. I am keeping my eye though on the mini-map in case there are. Nice flank from Soulkey though, which really is taxing the multitasking of both players. Another really strong storm. Cracklings now seem to be entering the fray to neutralize the power of the Dragoons. So BC are now starting to make a couple of Archons as well and add that into his composition. And Soulkey is now about 50 behind on supply. And I think the fact that BC's got additional gateways here really is going to help him reinforce. Doesn't trade out his entire army. I think just fights to the point where he can trade efficiently. Now taking a 5th base here. This is a very, very, very scary prospect. Bisu's got so much macro power, so much money. Kind of forcing Soulkey to make a move here. Otherwise Protoss is just simply too strong. So, what does Soulkey do? He looks like he donates a few lings to science, trying to pick off a High Templar, and he does. In fact, he gets 2 there. That was a bit sloppy from Bisu. Turned out to be way, way more effective than it probably should have been. We've got a random pot of Hydras here that are looking to possibly pressure. It does have a High Templar defending here, DT here. I didn't see where the Reaver is. I'm going to assume it's in the shuttle. It is. So he's got 2 Reavers in a shuttle to try and break a base. There's nothing here defending this though, so he doesn't need anything to break this. Where is Soulkey's army? Soulkey's army's up north. Looks like he's going to try and take on this base at the same time as Bisu's denying this one. So does he rotate around to reinforce here, or does he kind of just back himself with Storm? Does Storm here immediately. There's a lot of lurkers though. Oh my god, this game is so good. It is just unreal to cast games of this quality. Those lurkers died really quick. And he sent some zealots from the bottom side to tidy this up, and he should just about have enough here. Meanwhile, most of his army comes around just to defend this position, of which was being sieged just with a handful of lurkers. And suddenly supplies are a little bit closer. So Bisu's now pulling his army across the map. You can see kind of everything here converging into the middle. And trying to deny yet another new source of income here. Where is your observer? There we go. So his observer is here. I think he may take down the natural, also including the Reavers in the fight. So the Dorito clouds do arrive, but the Reavers are a real difference maker when Dark Swarm is brought into the game. And Bisu is going to try and break through here from the backside. And that's enough. Soulkey knows not going to be able to hold that. Bisu's just got too many bases. He's just going to keep on reinforcing. And Soulkey, just on summary judgment, realized I ain't going to be able to hold this base. And if I lose this base, I've lost this game. Guys, that was unreal. Obviously, you do want the epic games, the ones that go, you know, sort of 20-30 minutes. I do have them. They are on the way. So we're always doing a mix of game lengths and stuff like that, and different various players. So we'll still be doing toggles, we'll still be doing autosis, but I want to start getting more and more of these good high quality programs onto the channel as well. If you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button, give me some feedback to say, yep, Rabbit, these are great, I love seeing these games as well, thanks for doing them. I will really appreciate that feedback, and until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. You guys take it easy.